You are watching Luntha television and it's time for news. My name is Helbert Katanda. First, let's have a look at our top stories. The Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, calls for immediate and decisive action to eradicate world hunger. Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives wants Mera Chief Executive Officer fired. Heavy and stormy rains hit hard in Balaka district and a news to eradicate world hunger and poverty. This is contained in a message addressed to the President of Brazil hosting the G20 Summit for International Economic Cooperation. Brazil is hosting the two-day G20 Leaders Summit that opened on the 18th of November in Rio de Janeiro with the presence of the leaders of the 19 member countries plus the African Union and the European Union. We have the details.
Pope Francis has called on attention to the scandal of world hunger worsened by the armed conflicts in our world today and the huge amounts of money spent on weapons and armaments rather than helping to feed 3 billion people in our world without access to food or adequate nutrition. The Pope underscored the immediate and primary necessity of eliminating hunger in our world as many millions continue to suffer and die from hunger while tons of food are thrown away, quoting from his encyclical letter, Fratelli Tutti, how this constitutes a genuine scandal and stressing that hunger is criminal. Acknowledging the problems caused by wars, conflicts, and the persistence of injustices, the Pope underscored the importance in finding new ways to achieve a stable, lasting peace in all conflict-related areas with the objective of restoring dignity of those affected. The death and destruction caused by these wars is also contributing to worsening famine and poverty. He pointed out affecting places even far away from the conflict through the disruption of supply chains and huge amounts of money spent for weapons and armaments as a result. Therefore, he stressed no food should be spared to lift people out of poverty and hunger. Poverty contributing to hunger crisis, social and economic injustices exacerbate the reality of hunger. The Pope continues that this poverty can perpetuate a cycle of economic and social inequalities that are perceived in our global society. Effective measures require a concrete commitment from government, international organizations, and society as a whole. The Pope writes, these include access to basic goods, fair distribution of vital resources that respects the God-given humanity dignity of every individual.
The Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives has announced that it will conduct demonstrations on Thursday in Lilongwe to express dissatisfaction with the persistent scarcity of fuel in the country. The group's executive director, Sylvester Namira, said this on the sidelines of a press conference in Lilongwe on Tuesday. Namira said the current situation has reflected the incompetence by both Minister of Energy Ibrahim Matola and Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority Chief Executive Officer Henry Kachaje. They are demanding that the two should step down from their respective positions. Charide Jilanga reports.
Namiwa said the impact of the fuel crisis on the lives of Malawians need no emphasis as it has brought the country's economy to its knees. He stated that the business-as-usual approach on the fuel, forex and fertilizer crisis that are tormenting Malawians confirms the current regime's cluelessness to finding solutions to the challenges. According to Namiwa, the way Matola and those supposed to be in control of the situation are handling the fuel crisis is uninspiring.
Let me begin by saying Malawi is at crossroads. The time is now or never. This is the time we need to invoke the people power because the power of the people is greater than people in power. Those people we entrusted with the responsibility to govern this country, they are destroying this country beyond recognition. Allow me to make a passionate appeal to Malawians in diaspora, the business community, politicians, and traditional, including religious leaders, that the time is now that we need to join hands and save Malawi from the jaws of crocodiles that have no mercy for the plight of Malawians.
In a statement, the Minister of Energy has disclosed that multiple fuel vessels are currently being processed for offloading at their ports of entry to ensure immediate availability of fuel. The statement further says the ministry has secured essential foreign exchange facilities for immediate fuel procurement, and 24/7 crisis response technical team is now operational to monitor supply chain disruptions and provide immediate responses around the 5 general elections. SIDET, in collaboration with other civil society organizations and patriotic citizens, have organized peaceful demonstrations scheduled to take place in Lilongwe on Thursday, November 21st, to force Matola and Kachaje to resign for orchestrating fuel crisis in the country.
People's Development Party President Konrad Nankuma, who joined the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives, demonstrations aimed at pressuring authorities to address the ongoing fuel crisis. Nankuma has also called on President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera to address the nation with concrete solutions, describing the fuel shortages as the country's worst ever crisis, with citizens are forced to queue overnight at fueling stations. The PDP president also told journalists during a press conference in Lilongwe on Tuesday that he is of the view that Malawi Electoral Commission chairperson Annabel Mtalimanja should step down, arguing that her resignation is necessary to restore public trust ahead of next year's elections. Nankuma explains more.
Day in, day out, you'll find Malawians queuing at filling stations, looking for this now precious commodity, fuel, petrol and diesel. Now, it is baffling to note that in the midst of the suffering of Malawians, in this case, where this commodity has now skyrocketed on black market, 10,000 per liter, which is unsustainable. The baffling part is that the president of the country continues treating the issue as if life is normal. Well, there is no normality there. Life is not normal there because Malawians are suffering. Why am I saying that he is leading a normal life? You see him day in, day out, going out, filling his vehicles, fuel gathering vehicles, going to different parts of the country, campaigning, while he is leaving Malawians in need. He's passing by Malawians in those filling stations, looking at them instead of finding solutions for these problems. So that's the reason I was saying that no, time is now, because a good leader is seen at a critical time like this one. He needs to step up, he needs to stand up and address Malawians and talk to Malawians, give hope to Malawians.
But Minister of Energy Ibrahim Matola says the government has secured foreign exchange facilities for immediate fuel procurement amid a crisis whose earned remains obscure. In a statement dated November 19, 2024, Matola indicates that his office is taking actions to ensure stability and strengthening collaboration with neighboring countries for enhanced fuel supply. He claims that they have initiated processes to increase the delivery from ports of entry. The minister has also disclosed that they have developed a crisis response technical team that is monitoring the fuel supply across the country. You're still watching news on Luntha television, coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center in Area 2, Lilongwe. My name is Helbert. Now do stick around as we'll be back shortly after the break.
Luntha Television, together with Total Land Care, Assemblies of God Care, and other partners, led by NCA-DCA Joint Country Program with funding from NORAD, have organized a national conference on fighting gender-based violence, fighting inequalities, and climate-smart economic empowerment. The conference will take place on Wednesday, the 20th of November 2024 at Dimba Stadium, Kalulu EPA, in the area of Traditional Authority Dambe in Mchinji District, starting from 8:30 in the morning. The conference will be held under the theme, Together We Can Build a Resilient Nation, Free from Inequalities, Gender-Based Violence, and Human Trafficking. The guest of honor will be the Minister of Gender, Community Development, and Social Welfare, Honorable Jean Monowauza Sendeza, MP. Come and hear on how it in ending gender-based violence, inequalities, and human trafficking.
A organizing committee ndi okondwa kukuyitanani nonse kumwambo wokhazikitsa chimbale cha nyimbo zomvera zauzimu cha Sister Domisa Kamwaza, chomwe akuchitchula kuti ndavomera. Mwambowu ulipo la Mulungu pa 24 November 2024 ku banja loyera Parish Hall mu Archdiocese ya Lilongwe. Nthawi ndi 1 koloko masana. Pakomo ndi 1000 kwacha akulu ndipo 500 kwacha ana. Makwaya onse amene adzakometse mwambowu adzalipira 20,000 kwacha yokha basi. Mukafuna kudziwa zambiri, lankhulani ndi Mr. Goodson Kachere pa 0995 380 672 komanso Mr. Gabriel Kamlamo pa 0992 380 577. Bwerani nonse kumwa.
Wailesi yakanema ya Luntha mogwirizana ndi mabungwe a Total Land Care, AG Care komanso mabungwe ena ogwira ntchito zachitukuko ndi mgwirizano wa mabungwe a NCA ndi DCA ndi thandizo lochokera ku bungwe la NORAD akonza msonkhano waukulu omwe cholinga chake ndi kukambirana njira zothetsera nkhanza kusiyana pakati pa magulu komanso kapezedwe kachuma mu nyengo ino ya kusintha kwa nyengo. Msonkhanowu udzachitika pa 20 November chaka chino pansi pa mutu wakuti kumanga dziko lopirira ku mavuto osiyanasiyana ndi kuthetsa nkhanza komanso mchitidwe ozembetsa anthu. Ndipo mlendo olemekezeka pa mwambowu ndi Mayi Jean Sendeza omwe ndi nduna yoona zakusasiyana pakati pa anthu, chitukuko cha m'madera ndi chisamaliro cha anthu. Mwambowu ukachitikira pa bwalo la masewero Adimba mdera la Group Village Headman Panye, mfumu yayikulu Dambe m'boma la Mchinji. Tiyeni tonse tikasonkhane pa tsikuli kuti tikamvetsetse kukambirana ndinso kugwirizana momwe tingathetsere nkhanza kusiyana pakati pa anthu komanso mchitidwe ozembetsa anthu.
Are you looking for a good venue for your next event? Welcome to Our Lady of Africa Conference Center, nestled alongside our guest house and delectable restaurant located in the capital city, Lilongwe. Whether it's a corporate meeting, a wedding reception, or a family gathering, we have the space and amenities to accommodate your needs. With good accommodation, facilities, and mouth-watering cuisine, your event is sure to be a memorable success. For more information, contact us on 0997 277 720 or on 0997 452 093. Book now and let us help you create unforgettable moments. Our Lady of Africa Conference Center is located on Likuni Road, about 250 meters from Bypass Roundabout towards Chinsapo, before the police roadblock. Turn to your right, and it is about 50 meters from the tarmac road.
Welcome back. But before we proceed, a reminder of our top stories. The Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, calls for immediate and decisive action to eradicate world hunger. Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives wants Mera Chief Executive Officer fired. Heavy and stormy rains hit hard in Balaka district. And in news from elsewhere, opposition candidate wins presidential election in Somaliland. Moving on, Balaka district has registered 1,469 households that were completely and partially damaged following the heavy rains and stormy winds that were experienced between the 4th and the 5th of November this year. In an interview, Balaka District Council Public Relations Officer Mary Makiringa said they are expecting more reports on damages, bearing in mind that the rainy season has just begun. Makiringa says they have intensified awareness on prevention of accidents, especially to people that stay in disaster-prone areas. She explains more to our reporter, Rashida Matandika.
As you know, disaster issues, we do not dictate from the district. We've got structures on the ground. We've got area civil protection committees who are people in the communities. These committees help us to sensitize the communities on the dangers of disasters, and those that are living in prone areas to always be on the look and move to safer places.
The Ministry of Water and Sanitation has called on relevant stakeholders to expand interventions to ensure increased access, sustainable and climate-resilient toilets that meet safely managed sanitation standards to all people in the country. Principal Secretary in the Ministry, Elias Shimlayambe, disclosed this to Luntha television on Tuesday, the World Toilet Day, which falls on the 19th of November every year. Charity Jilanga has compiled this report, read in our studios by Bernard Manza.
Chimlambe said over 8 million Malawians do not have access to safely managed sanitation, while over 300,000 are still practicing open defecation. He stressed that poor sanitation, unsafe water and unhygienic practices contribute to under 5 child mortality, estimated at 84 per 1,000 live births, with about 40,000 children dying every year. According to Chimlambe, the effects of climate change are threatening government efforts on improving sanitation systems, giving an example of the recent floods, where flooding water has damaged toilets and spread human waste into water supplies. Chimlambe further said some areas have soil formations, which makes construction of durable toilets challenging.
This is a very, very important day where we need to make sure that we provide the necessary awareness.
Commenting on the matter, Self-Help Africa, an organization committed in transforming sanitation through Sir Topans, says open defecation poses a serious risk to public health, as it can lead to degradation of the environment, contamination of water sources, and spread of diseases such as cholera and other diarrheal diseases. Self-Help Africa Water, Sanitation and Hygiene WASH Program Manager Joe Ndeule said the pan toilet, which features a mechanical water seal, keeps pit latrines sealed from open air, reducing odors, flies and disease transmission.
As an organization, we have a number of WASH programs in a number of districts, including Ndoa. So what we are currently doing to assist or working hand in hand with district councils in promoting and also following up on the sanitation status.
Reports indicate that since 2013, 40%, which is more than 4.2 billion people around the globe, lack access to improved sanitation. United Nations has observed November 19th as World Toilet Day to draw the world's attention to the importance of accessible toilets and their role in improving hygiene and health around the world.
Senior Chief Jadza has urged the government to introduce mining regulations to oversee activities occurring in the hills and mountains around Natenje in Lilongwe, which are reportedly contributing to an increase in tuberculosis cases. The chief made this appeal earlier today during the First Lady Monica Jagwera's visit to Natenje Health Center alongside Global Fund officials to assess Malawi's efforts in combating TB. Senior Chief Jadza emphasized that the unregulated mining operations are endangering public health due to harmful fumes and dust generated by their activities. Tandu Mzumara with the details.
Senior Chief Jadza stressed guarding workers from the risk of TB exposure.
We are asking government to enforce safety regulations and impose heavy fines and penalties on mining companies that fail to comply with safety regulations and to promote transparency. These mining companies should publicly report on their safety measures and compliance with TB regulations.
The Research, Care and Treatment Officer for the National Leprosy and Tuberculosis Elimination Program, Tisungane Mwenyenkulu, stated that the Ministry of Health has been implementing policies to safeguard miners from TB in mining areas. He also highlighted that regular health screenings are conducted to identify...
I would say it's going on well as a country.
First Lady Monica Jagwera has since committed to engaging the private sector, especially those in the mining industry, to help end tuberculosis by 2030. She has also asked those working in the mines to demand past 11 years, with the TB treatment success rate now reaching 90%. Additionally, the prevalence of TB HIV co-infection has dropped significantly from 77% in 2003 to 47% in 2023.
And now in news from elsewhere, Muhammad Abdullahi, leader of Somaliland opposition, has been elected president of the breakaway region of Somalia, according to reports. Abdullahi, also known as Iro, of the Wadan Party, received close to 64% of the votes, beating the incumbent president, Musi Abi, of the Kimeli Party, the Somaliland National Electoral Commission, said on Tuesday. Citizens in Somaliland voted last week in an election that was delayed for 2 years due to lack of funding and other reasons. We have the details.
Abdi, who was seeking a second term after 7 years in office, showed badly with about 35% of the vote. Both candidates had campaigned promising they would resuscitate an ailing economy and push efforts to gain international recognition for Somaliland. Somaliland, which declared independence, built a stable political environment in sharp contrast to Somalia's security, finance, and the ability of its 6 million people to travel. The government in the capital, Hargeisa, hopes to soon finalize a controversial deal that would grant neighboring Ethiopia sea access. In return, Addis Ababa would provide an in-depth assessment of recognition. The deal allows the Fuli in Somalia, which views it as a violation of its sovereignty and prompted fears of conflict. Ethiopia is a major contributor to a peacekeeping force in Somalia and Eritrea. Somaliland is also optimistic that the incoming Trump administration will revisit the United States' long-standing recognition of Mogadishu's sovereignty over Somaliland. Somaliland is also optimistic that several leading U.S. Department of State officials who worked on Africa policy during Republican leader Donald Trump's first term